Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris Olmy and we are playing more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 today with our Montreal Canadiens. This is Season 3 of the save. We simulated Season 1, we played through Season 2, learned a lot about the team, about the players, rebuilt for Season 3, and I mean, I have to say, it's going well. We're President Trophy contenders. We've lost 8 out of 62 games, 111 points at the trade deadline. And I stopped at the deadline because I wanted to get some information on the season, do some analysis, spend a lot of time offline doing that so I could just bring you the update and talk through points. And we're going to do that. But as the off-season unfolded and the preseason, and then the first few months of the regular season, I realized one thing. I messed up. I messed up bad. There's a certain player who I wanted to re-sign. And I wanted on a 3-year deal. They wanted a 2-year deal. And I guess I asked too many times. They're going to free agency. That's not good. That's not good. Who could it be? Who could be the player not on a new deal? Yeah. Out of everybody I did not manage to re-sign, in the past, everyone I didn't want to re-sign, everybody that I failed to re-sign, Nick Suzuki is probably the best young player that I have ruined in this way. Like, offensively looks really good. High team player and temperament, I like those. I prize those attributes. Physically, looks like a beast right now. He's only 22. He's not that defensive, but he's not weak. Offensively, he's growing into a really good star player. Physically, he's already kind of there. Still young, still developing, will get better. Great role player. I mean, there's so much to like about Suzuki. And he's not going to be on our team. We've got a 1-year deal for this year only. The games told me I can go back and discuss a contract, but whenever I did, it always just says, I'm not interested, I'll wait for offer sheets. So I was originally trying to get him on a 4-year deal. He wanted $4.5 million over 2 years. I give him 5 over 4. I went to 4.94 over 3. And that was about it. I think we went back and forth maybe 3 times. I tried twice for a 4-year deal. Once at $4.5 million, because he wanted the 4.5 over 2. Then I upped it to $5 million over those 4 years. He still wanted $2 million. He still wanted 2 years. At this time, he wanted $4.8 million. And then I came down to a 3-year deal and still give him more money than he was asking for a 4.9. And that's when he basically didn't get back to me. So that leaves us in a quandary over what we're going to do with him. Now, on the flip side, there's some really good things happening here because the team's playing really well. We're good now. We're good for the future. We still have Keller there. We're looking solid enough. Benier's actually come in and turned into a 3-star player. He's not playing amazing. But we are going to be losing Nick Suzuki end of the season. We're either going to have to match an offer sheet or we're going to have to replace him in free agency through the draft or at the trade deadline, which is where we are. So I know this hurts, but we're having a great season. Now is the time to probably get rid of Suzuki, try and get back a player good enough to lessen that damage. It won't hurt us too much if we're this good now. The playoffs are going to be a different beast anyway. But I really don't think he's irreplaceable. But he is an absolutely fantastic prospect. Now, I wish I'd done this a little earlier in the season, because for a while the league thought he was a 4.5-star potential player. Now it says he's a 4-star player. And I could, of course, go in and try and edit a contract and everything, but I actually want to, stay away from doing that kind of thing, because it's my fault. I messed up. So, if we look at the team, defensively, we're fairly solid. Okay? Like, Chitrin's playing okay, not great, but he's playing okay. Mete's playing pretty good on defense. Doesn't really offer anything going forward. Lindholm, even better on defense, and not great going forward. Hamilton, surprisingly the same. So defense is being defense. Noah Dobson stepping up on that bottom pair and actually across the board playing good. But Lindholm's been a great addition for us. A very, very good addition. On the offense, I mean, it's those top two lines. It's Lindholm with Keller and Gaudreau, and it's Hurtle with Suzuki and Olofsson. So my issue is, for a year older than Suzuki, we have Keller. We're looking for a second-line center. Second-line winger. Suzuki's really a first-line winger. Maybe Olofsson is too. He plays exactly the same as Keller. He's just a little bit worse in every way. But he does have great value to him. So I'm not going to lose him for anything. I'm not going to lose him for nothing, I mean. So, there will be an offer sheet that we could match, and we might get draft picks back, or we might retain Keller and Suzuki together. But I see them as roughly the same player, just Keller's on a great contract, is playing better right now, and is only a year older. So, I've come up with a solution, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. I'm going to do it in this video, but I want your thoughts on it. I've got two ways of looking at this deal. Or I should say these deals, because there's 4. This small picture where each of these 4 deals individually, I think, make some sense. One's a little tougher than the other 3. But then there's big picture when I look at them all together and see the outcome of all the trades, what we gave up in its entirety and what we got back. I think it makes sense there. So big picture and small picture. This is where I think we'll trades. So I want to start off, of course, with Nick Suzuki. And the way I need to make this work is going to be tough. But I need to remember how I do this. And I think I remember how. I didn't write this down. I wrote down the other deal, not realizing one important thing. So I was going to trade him to Florida, who are currently down near the bottom of the league. My problem with that is we already have Florida's first round pick. So we look here, we've got Florida's first round pick. Florida ain't got nothing. So instead, the deal with Florida is going to involve their next year's pick. Instead, I want to try and trade with Detroit, who are, and let's just spoiler alert a little bit here about how good we have been compared to the rest of the league and how scary the Avalanche are and how we're still much better than them. So Detroit right now is sitting outside the playoffs. I think Florida 9th. So Detroit will have the 11th overall pick. So going for that is not a bad idea. And there's a reason I kind of wanted to trade with those kind of teams, because I thought that would be a good place to pick up picks. We're outside the top 10, so they're going to give it up, but it's going to be the best pick we can get. I don't think they're going to get better. I don't think Nick Suzuki moves the needle at all, if I'm honest, for Detroit. So let's go set up this trade. So Detroit, I'm going to want your first, your third, and your first? Oh, I can't remember exactly. I really should have written this down. So Nick Suzuki. How did I do this deal? I wanted to get rid of low picks. Nick Suzuki, 2024's 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th for a 2022 first, a 2024 first, and a 2024 third. Yeah, okay, that's the deal. I couldn't quite remember it, but that's the deal there. And the reason I do that way is because in another deal, I need a third, I think, in that Florida deal. So my idea here was this actually made me look at the right wing and notice that we do have a hole when Suzuki goes. And I thought about Pool Party coming up and filling that. But 2 firsts and a third, we're basically moving that third, spending the 6th, 7th, and 5th to upgrade into a 4th. Upgrade from our 4th. And then we're getting Nick Suzuki, who will not re-sign with us at the trade deadline, out for a first in both this season's draft and 2 years from now, which puts us with the 11th overall pick as it stands to go alongside Florida's 9th overall pick. And that. Now, I did try and add in more, but I don't think we can get anything of value pick-wise. They don't have a prospect. That's why I decided to go the third pick. And again, anybody I'd want here, they wouldn't give up. You know, Byfield, Sider, McIsaac, definitely not Volstead. Grew, Eliasson, Mastromi, Larkin. I looked at maybe Larkin to go down the middle. And again, Pushkot Kanyemi out wide. That pushes someone from the left wing over to the right, solves our problem. None of that worked. Philip Zazina, no. Mantha, no. There just wasn't a player, there wasn't a deal that I could make that made sense. So I think when we look at it this way, because even their bad players wouldn't move the needle. I think I even added in some of these two stars or 1.5 stars. Even like a Jonathan Bernier, I really don't think that was... Yeah. Everybody had reason. They don't want to move Jonathan Bernier. He's on the transfer block, like the trade block. They should want to get rid of him, but they don't. So I think this is just the deal we do. So 2 firsts and a third. This kickstarts first big trade. So Suzuki heads to Detroit. Hopefully they still miss the playoffs. We still get the lottery pick. I don't think he helps them out enough to really sort of help them this season too much. That 2024 first is probably in more danger of not being a lottery pick. But it's an extra first round pick for the future. And I don't think this hurts our team at all. I think this is a balanced trade. They get something they can depend on, will make them better, adds to a growing core of players. You know, immediately becomes their best player on the first line. So they got Anthony Mantha now moving probably on the second line alongside Byfield and Bertuzzi. Larkin and Zadina get someone new to play with. It's still young. You know, they could go Bertuzzi, Mantha, and Larkin. You know, 2 27-year-olds and a 25-year-old. And then put the 2 22-year-olds with Byfield, who's only 19, and get a young line. There's so many ways they could spin this. He's a good two-way hockey player. He's going to add something there as well. A defensive presence they don't have, outside of Larkin in that top 6. So I think this makes a lot of sense for both teams. So Nick Suzuki would not sign a deal, heads over to Detroit. We stack draft picks. On its own, small picture, I think that works. I just think that works for us. It also helps with the cap crunch being that, a couple of players were a bit more expensive than I thought they'd be. That did kind of hurt me. So let's talk about second line right wings quickly. There's Svechnikov and a few other players that I scouted that I really liked. A couple of upgrades, honestly, on Suzuki. There's a couple of downgrades on Suzuki. There's nobody quite like Suzuki. But I didn't want to really upgrade because then we're running into cap issues eventually. We're running into first liners playing on the second line. We're already a very good team. We don't need to improve. We can afford to take a step back, find someone that fits the second line, is still good, still young, still producing. And the name I came up with, and whether you agree or disagree with this, is Owen Tippett. Not as good defensively. He's having a very good offensive season. He's half a star less ability, same potential. He's a year older. I believe he only went 3 picks higher in that same draft. He's as good in ratings, apart from, I think he gives up a few points in two-way forward and defensive forward. He is worse defensively. He is slightly better offensively. I think he needs another year of maturity. I think he's a year older, but his development's a year behind Nick Suzuki. I think that's the issue running. But he's a second liner, looks like Olsson, who'll also play on that second line. Everything else is pretty good. They all have very much the same language being talked about them. But instead of a 5'11", 186 pounder, he's 6'2", 218. He's more of a big body. He's going to be a much better screener, which might help actually on that line. And he's on 58 points this year in 62 games. And I can get him. Whereas I think Tippett's on a very good season. Suzuki, I don't believe was on anything crazy. I think maybe like 30 points or 34 points. So yes, it's a downgrade, but it's one we can afford to make. It's one that makes sense. It's one that fits actually within that second line right wing, which we are trying to fill. And yeah. The other thing is, we can throw first for next season in there, and they're losing Tippett. They're not getting anything back that we're going to miss, because I'm throwing Hrenak in here, who is our fourth goaltending choice. And Pulpatty's on the third line. I thought about promoting him to the second line, realized he did nothing for us, and realized I didn't need to do anything. I didn't really need him there. So, 2 first, 2 second. A first and 3 seconds is going to be 2 first and 3 seconds. 2 first, a second, and 2 thirds. So I can now throw in those thirds that we just picked up. And then I can maybe, I've got time to do this, but I can maybe shift one of these seconds into more of a better second for next season. I can maybe do that. And then that puts us in a really good place of having 2 first, 2 seconds for the next 3 years. But yeah, overall, I don't think we're losing anything here. Now, this isn't quite the deal I had in place. I had Suzuki with the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th for their next year's first and Owen Tippett. But yeah, doing it the other way, I think we give up these 2 thirds, but we gain the extra. We gain the extra first, basically. And that's something I think I just kind of want to do. That's something I just kind of want to do. So they still want a little bit more. This is the one I haven't really scouted. So I'm going to mess with this deal, see what makes sense. And yeah, come back to me when we're there. Okay, so by adding in Blake Coleman to this, which again, let's face facts, we don't need Blake. He is a backup player who's done okay on the fourth line, but yeah, really, I don't think he adds anything to the team, and I have a plan in place here as well. So I actually did that Detroit deal wrong, and I've got an extra first, which means I don't have the same things now to give up. That's on me. So Coleman's going to go in here. I had a separate deal for Coleman with either Florida or Seattle anyway, where I would get, basically I could get Coleman for a third and a fourth rounder. That was basically what I could get. So they want him. We can slide him in, and it moves the needle enough to get this done. Okay, so I'm having trouble making the other deal go through with Coleman in it and other stuff. So I have a deal for a third and a fourth written down. But it says hardly likely that they'll accept 2 third-round picks for Blake Coleman. When I offer it, they say yes. That's how much they want Blake Coleman. So I'm going to do this deal first. I'm going to do that deal first. Because then I think that sets us up okay for the other deal, where we're dropping Pool Party and Hrenek off. And we are... No. I wanted to stay with Florida. So Hrenek and Puliavi off there. And in response, we get that first rounder and Owen Tippett. No. Oh, yes. And the extra picks. Do the extra picks actually make this work now? Because now we've got third rounders all over the place. So now we can give them back that. We can give them our third rounder. And we can give them back their third round pick there. If I'm correct. So 3 third rounders. Plus Hrenek, Pool Party for Tippett and a first. Oh, this is going to mess me up. This is going to mess me up. If I try and get something like a fourth back, they're going to say no. Yeah. If I try and get a seventh back, they're going to say no. Yeah, this is right on the edge of what we can get. So if we want that extra first round pick, which I didn't equate in, I was coming out to this with 3 first rounders, I'm coming out to it with 4 now. What we're giving up to get that is 2 thirds and a fourth over what I thought we would. And I think that's still a deal we do every day of the week. So we did the Suzuki deal. We've done the Coleman deal. Now we're doing the Pool Party deal. So, yeah, for an extra first rounder, I think I've got to do that. I think I've got to do that. So we lose Hrenek, our fourth goalie. We lose our third line right winger. We've got a second line right winger back. We've lost a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 3 thirds to get 3 first round picks. I guess, and we've lost Blake Coleman in that. So we're down 2 roster players. We're down 5th choice left wing, 3rd choice right wing, and then 4th choice goalie in depth. And then that brings us up to the toughest deal out of the 4 to actually swallow. This took way longer than I expected. I do apologize for that. But if we head to San Jose, this is a deal I had in place with them because I can get the goalie back. Slightly worse, but young, good, get Billers back. They'll also give up a first. Now, when do I want this first? Honestly, I kind of don't. I kind of want this first more as trade bait. So if I give this up, ooh, seconds might be nice. Seconds might actually be nice. Hold on. San Jose second and a second then. And we can give up that third. So instead of getting a first, we can get those 2. Okay, let's see how much this moves the needle. Because out of all my defensemen, realistically, I think we're pretty good. We've got some good defensemen lined up here. We're deep all over. There's nobody really I want to move, but there's nobody I'd really miss if I did. I've got Struble to call up, which is weighing into my decision here heavily. And he should be on the left-hand side. We've got enough right-hand side guys right now. But if Struble comes up, it's basically an either-or of Victor Mete or Jacob Chicherin. Out of the 2, I like Chicherin a little bit better. Doesn't put up the points Mete does, but we don't need him to. He's more of a defensive player. He's got better mental stats. He's a bit taller, a bit tougher. So that's kind of the deal. The deal I actually had was Mete for Bilius and a first. So instead of that, we're adding in our third to get 2 seconds. Does that work? Yes, it does. Can I get anything else back? Can I keep that? No. Okay. Can I get their third back? And just swap and downgrade that third? No, okay, so I think I'm going to just do the deal here then. Let's not get greedy. So we get our 4th line goalie back. We're still down, at this point now, a defenseman, a middle 6, or, a middle pair defenseman, a backup winger or forward, and a 3rd line forward. That's what we're down so far, but we're netting all these draft picks. So it hurts to see Victor leave like that. Like, I cannot lie. That does hurt to see him leave like that. But we've just got our 4th line goalie back. I'm going to call up, and I'm going to move him back over to the left where he will be a bit more effective for us. But I call up Jaden Struble. I'm also going to call up Graham Clark. He's injured. Oh, why are you injured? You're not injured, so why can't I call you up? You're in the OHL. I messed that one up. I thought I could call him up. Okay, I'm calling up Denisenko anyway. Okay, so the 4th line still is okay. 3rd line's going to suffer a bit on this side. And that's going to be solved by pushing Foligno back out to the left wing. And trying to get Denisenko to play and learn how to shoot from the right wing. Yeah. Okay, so that's a slight mess. We still need one more player. I'll go into free agency for that. But when you look at what we gave up and what we got back, I think small picture it works, big picture it works. It wasn't quite the deals I wanted. I got more than I actually wanted, and I had to give up a few extra thirds. But those 2 extra thirds that we gave up actually turned into an extra first. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So we got 1-1-2-2-2. Then we got 1-1-2-2-2. And I got 1-1-2-2. That's... Yeah, not only did it turn into an extra first, it turned into an extra second round pick as well. So a first and a second instead of 2 third-round picks and a 4th-round pick that I thought I was going to have, which turned into another 3rd-round pick anyway. But yeah, overall, I think that's decent. Clark, I really do want to call up, but he's in the OHL. So next season, he'll come in for the 3rd line. We still got Cole Caulfield coming through. I think Keller, Tippett, Clark, Caulfield as your 4, with either Corrali, Foligno, someone like that, ready to go. We still got Lindholm on the 1st line, Thomas Hurtel, Matt Bernier, and Jesperi Kotkaniemi. We can still put him on the left. Don't know if Pomerov is good enough to be backup next year or not. Excited to see exactly what he turns into. Almquist could be called up as well. He might play on that right-hand side instead of Denisenko in that case. But Johnny Gaudreau, Victor Olofsson, Max Domi, that's a great 3-piece there. Denisenko maybe on the 4th wing, and Lawton on the right wing over here. This might work, actually. I had no idea Lawton was a 3-star. He's been 2-star all year. But if I do that, Denisenko's a better fit where he's used to playing on the left. Yeah. Okay, so I need to go and get a depth forward, of which, I mean, I can just call up Caulfield. No, I can't. I sent him down to juniors as well. Oh, I'm batting 1,000 today. I'm batting 1,000. Okay, I might not like it, but I think the best backup play here actually is Wayne Simmons. But yeah, it's another cheap deal. It's Blake Como in disguise, in effect. So we'll just sign Simmons to a deal. We'll keep the youngsters down. 5 left wing, 5 right wing, 4 centers, 4 right defensemen, 3 left defensemen. That's because Broberg has been called over to the right, which was to cover an injury, which we now don't need him to do. For some reason as well, the head coach was sacked along the way, and he was under contract for the year, just didn't show up. So, I don't know. I really don't know. And now I can't select anything here to change these, which is interesting because I really should be able to. Do I have to be in commissioner mode to do that? I do. Really? That's weird. But okay, so that's Lawton's my 2nd line winger. Not Tippett. Have I just deeply underestimated Lawton here? Grinder on that 2nd line. I mean, it's not the worst in the world, I guess, but yeah, I can't even change it. I can't even change. Okay, well, those are the lines, I guess. I messed up a little bit. But I didn't think Lawton would be that good either. So let's take back off Commissioner. since we're not using that. Yeah, it's not quite the lines, not quite the deals I thought I'd have. It's not quite the lines I thought I'd have. So, hopefully Tippett improves, because I believe he was a 3-4. Okay, hold on. I'm going to restart. I'm going to restart the... restart the save. I'm going to reload the save. Because that's fixed it in the past. 1 second. Okay. Reloading has fixed it, and it also, I think, fixed the picture bug, but only for Tippett. A couple of players, like Lawton, still aren't able to be fixed. Oh, no, they are now. So, I don't know. That reload fixed this bug again, and also fixed the issue I had being a 3-star player. Although Lawton retains his 3-star. So, I want to have a quick look at Lawton. He's just solid everywhere. Yeah, I like him for that 4th line. I really, really do. He's actually a 3rd liner for us. But I was then able to go back in a commissioner and just set them up for the lines. So, Goodrow, Lindholm, Keller doesn't change. Olofsson, Hurtle, Tippett, I don't think that's a major downgrade. Domi, Beniers, Lawton is a solid 3rd line. We've got a grinder on there now with Domi and Beniers, who's a 2-way player anyway, I think. That's a really, really gritty 3rd. And then Denisenko, Kotkaniemi, and Sean Corrali with Foligno and Simmons, who have got positional variability like Lawton and Corrali have anyway. Lindholm, Hamilton, great. Struble moves already up above Chychrun with Rasmus Dahlin, which means Chychrun Dobson is unchanged. So what we lost was our 5th right winger. Blake Coleman now becomes Wayne Simmons. A 2nd left defenseman, Mete, becomes Struble. And 2nd line right winger, Suzuki, becomes Tippett. That's what we lost. We also lost our 4th choice goaltender, who's not even on this list, but Hrenak becomes Bilius. And for that, we gave up a 3rd, 2/3? I think 2 3rd rounders in order to get 2 1st round picks and 2 2nd round picks. I think. So big picture it works. Deal by deal, I think it works. I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, those are our lines. Those are the way we're set up to play. Let me double check. We still got Daryl Suter. Good. He's not disappeared. And now we look good again. We do have salary cap, but a lot of these deals are going to eat into that and cause us problems. However, I still now need to do a deal with Owen Tippett, and it's a much cheaper deal as well. It is a much cheaper deal. Can I get him on 3? No. It's not going to be worth doing that deal. Let's try and get him a little cheaper. Now put these back up. And I'm nickel and diming here, but I've kind of got to, unless I want to move someone else on from the roster. So there we are. 365 over 2 years. I think that's a good deal for us. I think that's a very good deal for Owen Tippett because it's a decent pay upgrade, but I think his next contract, if he continues on his pathway, his next contract is going to be the $5 to $6 million. So, yeah, that's absolutely fine. We didn't give up any prospects. We didn't mess around with anything. I almost did. So I don't think we're worse now than we were. We've given up a 2-star for a 1.5-star. That's our downgrade. Apart from that, we called up players we already had. A 2-star becomes, a 2-star, 4-star. Oh, sorry, what was Paul Party? 2-star, 3-star becomes 2-star, 4-star. So we lose half a star potential. We gain 2 stars potential. We lose half a star current and not potential on Tippett versus Suzuki. Mete is exactly the same, 2.5 to 3. The backup goalie, I think, is a slight downgrade, but it's real depth we're not going to need. So when you look at it all this way, I think this works. I do think it works. We do have deals that need to be looked at in the future. Hurtle's captain, he's doing a very good job, but I think I might have to ship him out and rely on Ben Yates to be second-line center, Kokoniemi to be third-line center, and then maybe calling up Porno to be the fourth-line center for next season. That might have to happen to get rid of some money. Because really, Hurtle doesn't play that well, and we're still waiting. We've got 2 producing, attacking right wingers. We got 2 down the center this season with Benye's contributing a little bit. We got 2 down the left with Domi contributing a little bit, and we'll see what Denisenko can do. And then we still have some good defensemen. We'll see what Struble can do, but we got some good defensemen and a good goalie. We're still playing really, really well. Overall, I don't know about you. Let me know, but I'm happy with that deal. I'm happy with that deal. I think everything we lost, we replaced either from within or very easily in other trades and in free agency with Wayne Simmons. So that's all I want to do. I don't think there's anybody else on the trade block that I'd even really... Oh, sometimes you open your mouth and like you just don't realize. Sometimes you open your mouth, you just don't realize. Yeah. Oh, that is... Yeah, no, that 100% is somebody I want to make a move for. Florida, why are you giving him up now? Oh, I could have worked that into the deals. Scumbag Floridas. No, what am I doing? Trade. Let's go back to Florida very quickly and just see, is there any way this makes sense? He's on the trade block. They can't agree a new deal with him yet. I think the deal is Thomas Hurtle. I think the deal there is Thomas Hurtle. I think... Do they want Bilius at all? Maybe, maybe not. Do they want Swayman? I think Swayman... I don't think Swayman does anything for us. But I think... he might do for them. Ochuk and Clevin I want to keep. Benyes, Denisenko, Lawton. I don't really want to give up anyone else there. I kind of know if I'm giving up Swayman as well. I want to keep these. Koskinen maybe, but no. Not really. Vesterberg. Ingvarsson. Almqvist. Got Denisenko, got Clark, like, that might be something I can give up without worrying, would be an Almqvist. Not that I really want to do that, you know, but... Almqvist or Koskinen might be the guys. Koskinen might be the guy. Koskinen might be the guy. So we got so much on that defense right now. As far as we want. We upgrade Thomas Hurtle into Barkov. We give up a goalie we don't care about. We give up a prospect we do like. There is that. We got 1-1, 2-2-2, 1-1-2. Yeah, we could just give up a couple of second round picks. But I'd rather restock after to get another goalie, get Koskinen back, keep those 2 seconds. Okay. So our seconds aren't that valuable. We can throw that in. If I keep Koskinen, and then where do we want to go with this? Anaheim? And I think these are all bubble teams. They are all bubble teams as far as I'm aware. We got San Jose in both the other years. We give up San Jose this year instead. And then I can probably keep Swayman. 2 seconds and Thomas Hurtle for Barkov with retained salary. With retained salary. Okay. There's no scouting on him at all. They've got no prospects. What have they got in here? Sort of role players I might want for the future. Who are you? Logan Hutsko. You're a two-way forward, 23 years old. You're captain down in the AHL. Okay. Don't want to pick up a defenseman. Justin Schutz. Okay, I mean, probably not ready to play, but could be something. No, we're not getting him. A Blomqvist. We're not getting him. I'll always take a goalie back usually because I can move those pretty well. Vomak, no. They don't really have anybody else there that I can take that I'd feel good about. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? The seconds that we gained that we shouldn't have had in the first place. Does that make sense? Because I thought that this would be 2/3 and a 4th round pick. And it's ended up being 2 seconds. So we flipped those with Thomas Hurtle for Barkov. Not only that, but we get Barkov at half price this year. I mean, that really doesn't matter. Let's face facts. That does not matter. And then if we give up one less pick, is that going to be... No, see, we're still going to have to use the pick. We might be able to get something else back. I wonder if we give up our first and try and steal their first. So we're upgrading, basically, our first in that one. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't work. So it's going to have to be this with a retained salary. I don't think I can get anything else back. So I can get Alexander Barkov. I'm losing a really good player to do it. I can talk to him about a new deal. His new deal is going to be similar to what Hurtle wants, which is around that 8 million mark. But we're really improving a ton. A ton. No disrespect to Hurtle. He's got the captain's armband for a reason. But I don't lose anything. I get a little bit more physicality. I get a lot more defense. Oh. In the middle of a great season, I'm blowing up the team. In the middle of a great season, I'm blowing up the team. Oh, come on, though. Why have I not got a picture? There we go. I should have a picture. I had one at one point. Yeah. I mean, Barkov. What kind of deal? Yeah. Instead of 7.9, I think that Hurtle wanted 8.3. And instead of a 2-year deal, 7 years. I mean, no movement, that's fine. I don't really mind that. We have some money. We have some way to make this work. I'm just going to have to do some gymnastics. But Sasha would be absolutely phenomenal. Can I just get some flexibility? Yeah, we get slightly cheaper, which means next year when the crunch actually hits us a little bit, we've got a little bit more possibility to move. Some of the deals aren't too bad, but Barkov will be the first person we're paying big money. Hamilton 6.9, Johnny Gaudreau 6.75. Barkov will be just over 8 million. But well worth it. Well worth it. Oh my God. Well worth it. So, okay, we say goodbye to our captain. That does kind of suck. We do need to go and reset our captaincies. I always just look by leadership and then pick the best guys for determination, team player temperament, and professionalism, which is why Dougie Hamilton lost his assistant's role to Hampus Lindholm. Now, what I'm seeing here is more professional as Lindholm, but like Barkov's a very good leader as well. So I think I'm going to slide the alternate onto Barkov. I'm going to put the C on Hampus Lindholm. I think he's the best leader we've got across the board. I think he leads the back end slightly better than Dougie does. Johnny Gaudreau still is that man up top on the wing. So we've got our defenseman, we've got our wing player, and then the center core is led by Alexander Barkov. I'm okay with that. So Hampus gets upgraded. Barkov slides into that slot. I'm happy with that. Okay, back into here. AI set my lineup. So Gaudreau, Lindholm, Keller, Olofsson, Barkov, Tippett. What a second line center. Domi, Beignet, Lawton, Denisenko, Kotkaniemi, Corrali, Foligno, and Simmons on depth. Lindholm, Hamilton, Struble, Dahlin, Chychrun, Dobson with Broberg as backup. Goalie with Primo as his backup. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. We got a Dangler back checking perimeter shooter. Interesting. Not kind of what I'd say they were, but okay, that's good. Up and down wingers with a two-way forward. That's a very adaptive no second line. Domi's a speeder with a two-way forward and a grinder, so counterattacks going through Max Domi. It's a very tough-looking middle six now. We've gained a lot of grit that we didn't have before. And then Denisenko, Kotkaniemi, Corrali. Not really a sniper, but kind of sniper, playmaker, power forward. That always works out quite well, too. So I'm happy. Let me know what you think about that, though. Was that the best use of our resources? Would you have held off on those deals? Did you not want to give up Mete? Would you rather us just gone to offer sheets on Tippett, on Nick Suzuki? Would you rather have seen us not go after Barkov? Let me know what you think. But I think it's a very good team at a very good point this year. So, we're past the trade deadline. We're flying. John Gibson is one of the top goalies. Mind you, so is Pavel Francouz. He is having an absolutely great year. He was number one in a lot of categories. He was. And then we go. Barkov gets his new deal in. and Owen Tippett gets his new deal in. Both slightly less than I expected. I'm okay with that. There's no 17. Wayne, you can have 71. And then Gregory, you can have your 14 because nobody's got that. Good. Wow, 7-game suspension. It's a good thing Barkov can step up there. I'm guessing Foligno will probably slide across, or Corrali will slide across to play centre on the 4th line. Everybody else just moves up. A 7-game suspension. What did you do, Elias? What did you do? But yeah, no, we're great for the future at centre. Lindholm will eventually go back out to the right. Kotkaniemi can go out to the left if we need him to. We've got so much versatility now. I'm delighted with that. So we do lose big the first game without those players. We do actually lose big, but I'm heading off to the end of the season to see where we lie. As you can see, Goudreau, Keller, Lindholm, that first line is absolutely flying together. Johnny Goudreau's on an absolute tear. He is the star man of this team. But Gibson, now with defensive help, is looking really good too. Keller on 83 points. That is Ovi, Ovechkin, and McDavid numbers. Just behind Nikita Kucherov. Like, that's filthy. I don't care who you are, that's filthy. Johnny Goudreau's having a showdown. Race to 50 with Ovechkin that he's going to lose. But he's the top assister as well. So he's not only a goal machine, he's an assist machine. He's become the complete player on that first line. I think that really does help him. So, while we've lost an important piece, I think we've done well to replace them. And I think we're in good shape moving forward. It's another loss there, though. Ugh. Goudreau gets another goal. But it's another loss there. That's where I'm going to leave it. We'll see you back here next time for more fun and games with the Canadiens on Franchise Hockey Manager 6. But once again, we've gone into overdrive on the trades and moving everything. We've got great draft picks. I think this brief scouting, I don't think there's many goalies I like. I don't think there's many wingers I like. I think there's a ton of centers, which isn't great for us. Which means there's also some decent defenders. But again, I don't think we really need to go down that route. So it may be the case that I flip these picks we've got now for future years. I don't know. But we do have top 10. So it could be a chance to get some really, really top players. Because while the rest of the draft is kind of bare in places, I think there's 2 defensemen I like. Like, really like. There's no goalies. I've got 2 left wingers that should go in the top 5. And then I've got like 6 or 7, I think, real impact centers. So we'll see how that goes. No. Suter, come on. Like, you're supposed to be dealing with this, not me. Why is Suter not dealing with this? Why am I being called in? He's the head coach. Oh my. Wayne Simmons on waivers, and then Uktuk's 1.5, Cleven's 1.5. Which one do I want to do? Are they right defensemen? One of each, but I need the right. It's easier to call up Cleven. I don't know why he's playing right, but it's easier to do that. It's easier to do that, I guess. No, I don't want to play the game. I did not want to play the game. Development looks okay. 10-2-1, outstanding. More scout reports. Let's get back to the playoffs. I'll see you there. Till then, take care. Thank you very much for the support as always. Let me know what you think of this video and what we did. And yeah, I'll see you then. Like, comment, subscribe as always. And yeah, pray that Florida and Detroit keep sucking. Because the worse they become, the the better our picks become. And right now, I think if I'm right, Detroit is slipping quite quickly towards that top 5 from the top 10. So this could be a very, very good season.